Hello everyone and welcome to episode 164 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I'm joined by Shane.
Hello.
And that's it. It's just the two of us this week. We're going to be doing a two-man show. I'm Matt as always. Shane, how you been? Been a little bit since you've been on the show.
Oh, pretty good. You know, hunting them achievements, gaming as always, overthrowing a few, countries around the world.
As you do.
Off-hours things, Yeah, as you do.
It was good to see that your Black Site CIA career is kicking off. That's really.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about it, but I figure, what's the point?
To be fair, chances are your name will probably get added to some sort of group chat with a journalist soon anyway. So, why not just put it on a podcast?
How do you know I haven't yet?
Well, exactly. Plausible deniability.
Don't ask questions.
What questions? I don't even know what we're talking about.
Aussie, Kiwi, all of you guys down there, you're not American yet.
Yet.
We're coming, though.
One
Don't
of
worry.
these days.
There's plans. We're going to drown your next president and maybe a few, and then,
I did see that there was we did get labeled on the tariff map as Madagascar most recently, so that was good. So
same thing.
Basically, island off the side of a continent, Madagascar, definitely.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we don't have any penguins here to tariff, so we've got that going for us.
Oh boy,
we really just dated this fucking episode, depending on how the world goes in the next month or so. In the next week.
They won't have electricity back then. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, back in my day. As always, we do this show live on Twitch. Come say hi. Xbox Hall of Gamers, place to find us. You know the deal by now. I think we're just going to crack straight into it. Like I said, it's just the two of us, so it'll probably be a relatively light show. But, yeah, I guess the first thing we got to talk about is that the Xbox Showcase has been confirmed. They're going to be talking about Outer Wilds 2 Direct as well. There's a thing going on with that. I guess, I don't know. This is not a surprise, obviously. They do this every year. But are you excited?
That time of year now. Oh, yeah. I guess I've been playing more recent games lately.
Sure.
So, if they play something, put something really cool on Game Pass, I'll jump on. Like maybe our next news story. But, I don't know. It'll be cool. It's always nice. I don't know if I like watching them more or watching other people's reactions more.
That's true. Yeah, I'm with you. It is the best time of year to be a podcaster because it's just there's so much to talk about. And
free content.
Exactly right. And to be fair, most of the reason I do this show and I assume most of our co-hosts do the show is just so we can talk shit about games because we just talk about them all the time anyway. So we might as well record it, right? Yeah. And so the showcases are always the best time to speculate, put your bingo card together, and then just look back at it 6 months later and go, "Wow, I had no fucking idea what was going on." Just putting it out there, someone predicted that Black Myth Wukong would be on Xbox, about 6 months ago, and we still haven't seen hide nor hair of it. I don't know who that could be, but if he's listening,
With what?
Yeah, exactly right. To be fair, I don't. Well, I was going to say no one's talking about it, but it's a single player game that was, came out a year ago, so it's not it's kind of unfair. But yeah, they did announce that it was going to be digital only. Which seemed to cause some confusion in our Discord. Yes, they're moving to digital-only games as well, but that's separate. Apparently, the showcase is going to be only digital. No people attending. It's going to be they're doing the Nintendo Direct thing, which I guess kind of makes sense. I don't really feel like obviously the people who go to these events like to see there in the audience, but for a cost-saving measure, I don't really see what the benefit is when most people just catch.
Yeah, but the fact that they worded it that way, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You have to know that there are so many gamers that are ready to bring out the pitchforks if you get rid of discs.
True.
So to go, the showcase will be digital only.
Yes.
Word it differently. Phrasing.
Online.
Are we doing phrasing still? I think we're doing phrasing still.
DRM included.
But, come on. The stream will be DRM.
Yeah, exactly.
Log into... What was a dead platform?
Denuvo, you need to have to...
You gotta watch it on Ouya.
Yeah, exactly. You watch it on Soldier Boy's console. Oh, man. Yeah.
That's right. That was a thing that occurred.
Oh, that was a thing. That was 100% a thing.
That was a thing.
You can watch it on live. I guess, again, a week's worth of coverage across Xbox Wire. They're going to be talking about, again, this is their big showcase. This is their E3, the Summer Games Fest stuff.
Yeah, for us old people, it's E3.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah. I'm always curious to see, obviously, because Summer Games Fest happens at the same time, and they just kind of line it up to kind of build on the hype. I'm very curious to see what ends up in their showcase versus what they give to Jeff Keighley, or what what kind of deal they work out there for some of their other stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if they have the metrics for their audience, which one watches more.
Sure.
Like, are they watching the Summer Game Fest more, or I guess Summer Game Fest is probably more casual, you would think.
Maybe, but it's more general, right? Like, I think it's people don't
general,
usually know
casual,
what
same
to.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Don't really know what to expect going to the Summer Games Fest most of the time, right? Like, they always have like a one more thing, which is usually pretty good. There's always some interesting stuff.
Always so fun, yeah.
And they always put the sprinkle in some indie stuff that's kind of interesting, and then obviously there's a few AAA trailers and a few surprises. But when it comes to like when Nintendo does a direct, you kind of like, okay, I kind of get an idea of what I'm going to see here. I mean, Nintendo are especially good at being like, we are only talking about this. Please do not get overexcited.
Boy, speaking of, showcases, everyone's always like, one game's gonna finally show up. It's gonna be Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Yeah.
We can't wait. We're gonna see more of it. I can't believe Nintendo tossed that into a montage.
They were just like, yeah, it's in there. It's coming to Switch. Of course it is.
Like a
what's
third
the big deal?
game, a 2-second montage. We finally got an update on Silk Song.
I mean, if they're gonna
Nintendo, come on.
Like, if they're going to talk about it again, I guess now's going to be the time, right? Like, I know Xbox had that sort of thing where it was coming to Game Pass, and that was, like 2 years ago now?
Because Hollow Knight was on Game Pass, right?
Yes. I believe it might.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
Silk
still
Song
is.
will
I
be.
bought it because, again, I don't know if I'll ever get around to playing it.
Well, sure.
It's way too fucking difficult. But
I've hovered over that icon multiple times
me too.
before.
Me too. I've been like, again, so many people have like, again, I'm the man with the rubber arm, right? Like, people have twisted my arm into playing all kinds of shit over the years. But even with Hollow Knight, I'm like, that's going to be a commitment. Like, that's a...
Yeah, because hard achievements are, what is it, like,
it was like
without dying or something like that?
Game
It's
without
ridiculous.
dying, which you can fudge, but still. And then like the speed run, and then 100% of the game, and all that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of playthroughs required for that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. One of these days. I mean, it did just end up on TA's like best Metroidvania list, which doesn't surprise me because I hear nothing but great things about the game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very good.
It was nice going down that list and being like, oh, I played most of these and I've enjoyed most of these. And there's a couple in there where, like Nine Souls, for example, I've also installed that I was like, oh, that could be like, I've heard is pretty good, but also quite difficult. So
yeah, I need to catch up to you on the Metroidvanias because I love that series. Like Castlevania alone.
Yeah,
I love that series.
100%.
But I love those kind of games too. So I really should play more of those. Like that one I recommended to you.
Yeah.
I definitely put that on my list too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, what was the other? I need to do Axiom Verge 2. That's one of those ones that kind of got overlooked. Like, everyone really enjoys the first one, but the second one just kind of nothing happened with it. So, but yeah, so it looks like they'll have a few things to talk about at the Xbox showcase. I mean, what are you expecting to see? I mean, we're kind of getting into that like
I
prediction.
would assume more, right? Like they can't go quiet on Perfect Dark again, right?
Sure. Yeah, they definitely have to show.
We're definitely gonna hear
something
more
about
of that one.
Yep.
And it's got to be more than just a really cool cutscene this time. We're gonna probably get, I would hope, details, gameplay.
A developer
maybe,
walkthrough
even.
would be good, just like a little like a chunk with them talking about like how the game works. Because again, like we saw some cutscenes, we saw a little bit of like gameplay, like very very spliced gameplay, but nothing in terms of like how the game plays, what's the objectives, how does it like what's the feel? Is it open world? Is it linear? Like we don't really know much about the game, to be honest, at all.
Now I think we both could probably name things that are gonna probably be mentioned, but what do you think is gonna be that one more thing? Like, what are you hoping for?
It would be great to get a release date for Gears of War E-Day. I think that's one of those ones where like there's been a lot of rumors that apparently it's coming out a little sooner than we expected. Like it might be a this year release, especially with
it'd be spicy.
Yeah, right. Because again, they haven't shown much about. They literally just showed that cinematic trailer showing like young Dom and Marcus, and then that was kind of it. But I don't know, what does Xbox have this year? I mean, obviously they've had a pretty good start to the year with Avowed and South of Midnight, which we'll talk a little bit about later.
Yep.
Fable's been delayed out from this year, so that's next year apparently, which is I'm sure they'll have something to say about it, but it's pretty rough. They did show a little bit of gameplay, or like alpha gameplay, when they announced the delay, so at least we know that it exists. And you can kick a chicken. So
like, we got it. It's here,
it's
guys.
there. It is. We're not just going to do the cinematic
fine.
trailer 3 years in a row that looks exactly the same. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to see. I mean, maybe this is where Everwild actually finally reappears. Maybe this is the time.
That would make journalists pop off. I'm not sure if the general audience cares or
Sure,
knows,
yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah, I bet a lot of people I follow be like just lose their minds if Everwild came back.
Yeah, I'd be super keen for that. I mean, as much as I love the idea of Sea of Thieves, I would like to see some other stuff from that team.
See, I'm hoping for anything Bethesda or not even Bethesda, like Fallout, like
Yeah, sure.
Fallout, even Elder Scrolls. What are we on 6?
Elder Scrolls 6 is the next one off the
Either
rank.
of those being even mentioned or shown or anything would be huge.
Yeah, I think Elder Scrolls 6 probably makes the most sense. Obviously, it's been like 6 years since they showed off that
Yeah,
like trailer thing, like the image that they said that they
the
were doing it.
we're doing it trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the basic. I don't know. A lot of people complained about that, right? Where they were like, I was like, what do you mean? Why did you show a trailer for a game that was 6 years away? Because people would not shut the fuck up asking where it was
yeah.
if you guys were
Because
making
they
it.
didn't, everyone else would be mad that they weren't talking about
Exactly.
it.
So they were like, yes, we are doing it, but also Starfield is like they showed that at the same time they showed the Starfield trailer back in the day.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah, the Starfield comes first, and then that same team moves on to another game that's going to take them 5 years to make. Like,
yeah.
we're not getting another Fallout to like 2030 at this stage, at best.
Which is what I'm saying is a shame because the show is so good.
Exactly.
Like the show made Fallout mainstream at least a little bit for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And the season 2's coming. So
Yeah.
they've got it. I think we had reports before on the show too that they've got to be getting on their case like, "Hey, can we do something Fallout, please?"
We do
Like,
something with the IP. It doesn't
we get
have
on
to be
this?
the Bethesda Studios team. You could, I mean, like it worked well with an Obsidian did it. Like you have enough studios, someone could be working on something, even if it's a smaller experience.
Besides tie-ins to 76 scores because it's
Sure.
still going on.
76,
Still
yes.
going strong, as far as I
Apparently,
know.
the ghoul stuff is pretty good. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm probably never going to play it, but it is, it is still
Yeah,
ticking.
there weren't achievements, so
Yeah.
missed me with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else in particular? Like, what's the studio we haven't heard from? Oh, that Clockwork game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it looked
yeah,
like Bethesda, Bioshocky.
Yeah, the In Exile team working on that one.
Yeah.
That like I thought we were going to see some of that because we saw that 2 years ago and they showed the trailer off and that was their like announcement, their big project because they'd obviously done Wasteland before and this was like a very
Yeah.
big change for them. And then we've heard nothing about that game since then. Like we got no new trailer last year, no announcement, no release date. Like if we don't hear about it this year, I'd be very very surprised because that kind of indicates that they're maybe in a little bit of
Yeah,
little
it's
bit of trouble.
probably bad news for them.
Yeah.
What about shoot, Tim Schafer's team?
Oh yeah, Double Fine. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
There you go.
It's funny actually because we'll talk about this when we do South of Midnight. But South of Midnight reminds me a lot of Double Fine's kind of work, and I was like, it's been a little while since Psychonauts 2. It would be great to see kind of what that team is working on something. They'd confirmed that they're like working on.
Yeah, they're working on something.
They're working on a couple of things apparently. So, would be very keen to see what they have next. I mean, the one that I would love would be a Psychonauts 1 remaster, like or a remake, a full remake in the
that'd be
Psychonauts 2
cool.
engine. Because that game is great, but I love the idea of going back to play that game, but the reality of it is kind of a bit rough.
It's a little old now. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was not a great platformer from a technical perspective when it first came out, even. So I think there's a lot. Like I think they did a lot of great work with the second game that would roll straight to the first game.
Yeah. God, there's that one studio that's doing all. They want to do 360.
Oh yeah, Night Dive. We
Remakes.
talked about them last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Night Dive Studios looking to remaster some.
So
old
that'd be
360
cool if they
games.
popped up and maybe showed off like, hey, we're doing this. Kind of like Capcom did at the Game Awards, where they're like, hey, we're gonna reboot all these series.
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, like
Yeah.
do that.
Well,
That'd be
Sega,
cool.
Yeah. I
Where's our Breakdown remaster?
Well, I don't. That's the thing is that I was thinking. I was talking about this with Cameron. Right? Is how many of those 360 games are hard to play these days or hard to get a hold of that would actually really benefit from a remake or a remaster or kind of a a reimagining, whatever you want to call it. It's
Naughty Bear.
Yeah, like there's some of those right where it's like that sort of that double A space that a lot of those didn't become backwards compatible. That kind of like a little bit lost to time because I think the thing is that like you can still play a lot of these old 360 games and they still play relatively well. I mean, obviously it'd be nice if they got upscaled to 4K and run at 60 and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like 360 emulation hasn't quite gotten to that stage for the most part. It looks like, but
No, no, not at all.
But yeah, Night Dive. I mean, I love what Night Dive are doing. I mean, I'm very excited for. I have no mouth, and but I must scream. Like that sort of point and click horror game is fantastic. So it's really cool to
We
see
talk
them
about.
bring it
I'll be
back.
talking about one of their games later. When we get into what we've been playing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I guess so. We'll kind of see what happens there. I mean, it sort of ties in nicely with our next story that apparently, and again, this has been. I'm taking this with a huge fucking grain of salt. Is that the
What is it? The fifth time we talked about this?
Exactly, yeah. The Oblivion remake apparently could shadow drop at any moment,
Ooh.
right?
Anytime now. It's coming.
Apparently, it's sometime between April and June, which is like throwing a dart that's a third of the size. That's a third of the size of the dartboard, and still probably missing. Like, I okay, it would make a lot of sense for them to say Oblivion remake is coming out is like shadow dropping after the showcase, and then we show that, and we also talk about the new Elder Scrolls. So you can play the old one, and you can dream about the new one. Like, yeah, I'm definitely like if this shadow drops onto Game Pass, like I'm playing it straight away. Like,
Right away. Immediately.
yeah, 100%. Like Oblivion is fantastic, and the 360 version is old enough and buggy enough that it really, really would benefit from that kind of work happening to it. Like again, this was a 360 launch title, so this is where that like Night Dive Studios like, what games are old enough to really benefit from this? This fucking game is old enough to
Yeah.
benefit from a remake. Yeah, again, this is from Jeff Grubb. So again, Jeff Grubb has been right about a lot of stuff in the past. I guess we'll kind of see what happens there, what the achievements look like. I'm assuming it'll be Game Pass because it's a Microsoft-owned studio and IP.
Yeah.
But yes, sometime in April, but before June. So May. It's gonna be May.
Oh, don't. No.
I've been hearing that a lot recently. I just every time we talk about the fact that it's April. But I am very curious to see kind of if the game exists, which again we have not even heard it be announced. What it even looks like what kind of like a remake indicates that they've made some pretty big changes to it, which
You would think so, right?
How Skyrimified is it going to be is my question.
Oh, considering all how popular Skyrim is and all the platforms it's been released on, and they're gonna get it as close to Skyrim as they probably can. You would think,
Yeah, I don't
as
know.
much as financially viable.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think that there's an audience where it's like, those sort of Morrowind, Oblivion kind of purists who are like, the game series kind of died for them when Skyrim came out. And like Skyrim is a great game.
Yeah.
But I can definitely understand like it definitely is not as pure in terms of like its mechanical stuff and how interesting I don't know. Like someone gave the example of like when you get vampirism in Oblivion, it's like the way it describes it is like you have a weird fucking dream and all this kind of shit. It doesn't tell you anything. You kind of got to figure it out. And like I feel like that would frustrate the shit out of people these days and just kind of would not put up with it.
Oh yeah, Morrowind. If anyone hasn't played Morrowind, it's so obscure. Not obscure, obtuse.
Yeah.
Very obtuse. There's no quest markers. There's no quest description. It literally drops you in a fantasy world, and you can figure it out.
Yeah, which
you better read every readable you come across. You better talk to everybody. You better pay attention.
You better draw a fucking map. Like this, like figure that shit out.
Take notes.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed Morrowind back in the day. Like I got it quite late, as part of because I didn't have a PC that could play it back in the day when I was a kid, and I picked it up for like a bargain bin, and like I picked it up with the 2 expansions, and I loved and hated both like that game so much. It was like so interesting and just so frustrating when you come from being like a console gamer who's been handheld for a lot of this stuff. But
I played on Xbox, and I never got past the first town because I would just turn on infinite wait and just steal everything from the town.
Great, amazing,
and then like cool, sweet, and then so I've never played. I walked outside and saw the wizard die.
The guy fall from the sky. That's that is the quintessential. And you pick up the scroll and you use it, and you just immediately do the same thing. You jump up too high in the sky and you fall and die. And you're like, oh, I don't know what I expected to happen right there.
Oops. Yeah. No, as far as I got.
Love it. Yeah, I fucking love that game. It would be really cool to see like a slightly more refined version of that. But I guess they'll reuse the voice work of, was it Sean Bean and Who else was in it? Who am I thinking?
Patrick Stewart, wasn't he
Patrick Stewart.
the king?
He was the emperor for like the first like 5 minutes of that game,
Yeah.
and then he dies. Spoilers.
They got him in for a day.
Yeah.
He made a nice little paycheck.
And he was like, again, like that was their big thing they were pushing on that game. They were like, this is like, we got Jean-Luc Picard fucking playing a pivotal role in this game. And it's like, yeah, he plays a pivotal role in the tutorial and then dies.
The tutorial, yep.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. All right. But yeah, I'm sure we're both all over this. So if it comes out, we'll obviously talk more about it and probably jump straight on it. It's looking like a good year for Xbox fans on Game Pass, I'll tell you. Microsoft did a Quake 2 AI demo, which was really interesting. So Microsoft released a Quake 2 demo that was basically created like entirely by their generative AI system called Muse, which is, I believe, the same one that they kind of used in talking about like remastering old games or like upscaling old games to be playable and like porting them to other systems. We kind of talked about it a few weeks ago around this kind of idea of like, instead of having for like minor technical stuff and more like compatibility reasons, having an AI tool that basically does the comparative work to make things work on other consoles and run a bit better. Which, again, controversial like this is, because obviously that's technically taking work away from people. But
yes,
no surprise, people were pretty unimpressed with this and pretty unhappy. I don't know if
which makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it looks all right. I don't know. It's Quake 2, so again, it's very like, it's very much a proof of concept kind of thing, as opposed to like actually being a like game stuff. Because again, it's like they build the map and the enemies, and the AI stuff doesn't really, the in-game AI stuff doesn't seem to work all that well, and the objects kind of don't really pop in, right? And again, it's very much like, hey, look what we can do without a human touching this thing at all.
Sounds great. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Considering where kind of AI is in the discussion at the moment, like taking away jobs from people, and like some people are saying, technically impressive, but basically just spits on. One person says absolutely fucking disgusting and spits on the work of every developer everywhere, which I think kind of sums it up nicely. I tried it, walked down a corridor, turned around, there was nothing but darkness behind me instead of where I just was. Turned back around, it was the same. Got trapped in a box. 10 out of 10.
Peak gaming. There you go. Yeah,
obviously AI has a long way to go before it's able to actually build games and kind of understand how games work. But this kind of does tie in with it, like games preservation. They want to kind of try and make things more playable and available. But if this is kind of the way they're going to go about it, I don't think there's going to be a huge demand or market for it at this stage. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
This stage, yes. But how would you feel if they could just pump, I don't know, some 360 game into an AI and pop it out, and it's an Xbox One game now?
I mean, I wouldn't
almost no loss and upscaling, and
Sure. Look, if we assume that all of it works as intended, like it works properly, achievements work, the game doesn't crash all the fucking time, like it's not completely broken, like it's actually like a, like 20 years from where we are now, or wherever it ends up being. Yeah, I can definitely understand the appeal of that, right? From a game, especially from a games preservation perspective, and being able to make those games more accessible. Like we said, the emulation stuff for 360 is a little bit fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I could definitely see it, but I also feel like, I don't know. By this time that game that become viable, those games are going to be so fucking old.
But what if AI could fix it?
Maybe,
like devil's advocate.
Yeah,
Microsoft is not going to pay anybody to just go start combing through the 360 catalog and upscaling everything and bringing it to modern consoles. It's just not going to happen.
That's true.
So I wonder if, like, gamers are a fickle bunch. What if they got an AI model down where they literally could just churn out re-releases? Like, it takes, however long it takes to process, and boom, you have an Xbox One game with, I guess series now, with the graphics to match, with, ray tracing, with all through AI. I wonder what their opinion would be then if it worked Obviously, if it doesn't work, they are going to shred it on platforms.
It is that cyclical thing, right? Of like, because you're 100% right. There's that idea of like, this game is so obscure, or there's no commercial viability for us to have a team doing this. But you know that they're never going to stop with that, right? It's never just going to be, oh, we'll only do this.
Absolutely not. Ever.
It's only going to be for games that we wouldn't pay for anyway. It's like, well, why would we pay for any of them? Yeah, it's just I don't.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I do not trust corporations enough to be able to hold that back to go. Yeah,
as you never should.
Exactly right. Yeah, because why would you? They're only after your money at the end of the day. And so having something where it's like, yeah, we could do like a Quake 1 remaster or remake game, but like we'll do an AI for it because we don't think that it's going to sell well enough to have a big team working on it, like a Blue Point or like like a dedicated upscale or a porting team. But then it's going to be, well, actually, we're going to do this work to make the next Halo game for the Xbox, and then we'll just use AI to port it to every other platform, so we don't have to pay a porting team or any of that kind of stuff. Like, this is not going to. I don't think this is going to end well, if that makes sense.
It never does. I'm still on. I haven't seen enough progression in AI successfully into normal culture to think that it's a thing yet. You know what I mean? Like, they keep pushing and everyone goes, no, thank you.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
no, we're okay.
Like, generative AI is trash. Like, and I understand a lot of people are going to come out and say, well, that of course it is because we just started with it, which I get, right? Like, there is a curve, right? But so many businesses, and again, this is, my wife tells me this all the time because she's obsessed with this kind of like understanding of AI, and because she works with data, and it's always like top of her mind. Like, the promise of AI has been sold to us like the 1950s did with nuclear power and like robots and because I was like, yeah, like we do some amazing stuff now and we'll do amazing stuff for the next 20 years. But people are buying now for stuff that is not going to be like it's all smoke and mirrors. And I think that this kind of this thing proves it, where it's like, yeah, this generative AI builds a demo that is just basically almost unplayable. And yeah, it's a proof of concept, but people have been sold on this kind of stuff replacing jobs and like taking out game studios and all this other kinds of shit that just is not realistic at this point. Obviously, it's a future consideration, and corporations will do what they do and try to cut jobs as much as possible and save as much money as possible so they can buy the next fucking yacht. But I think that we're in an AI bubble in the same way we're in the .com bubble. Like it was this will, the reality will win out at some stage, and it'll be pretty rough when it does. But I'm hoping that kind of, developers and voice actors and all those kinds of people who potentially be affected by this kind of stuff can weather it until that happens.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if my accents give it away, I'm an American, and apparently our trade policy is being written by AI, so, who knows? We'll see how that all works out.
I mean, to be fair, the thing that would probably make the most sense is to replace all the CEOs with AI. Save a lot of money that way, I'll tell you.
Oh, don't say that out loud. If they were listening, you'd really hurt their feelings. Okay,
That's true.
They might have to use a couple billion to wipe their tears away from their eyes as they're trying to fall asleep tonight.
They can call it the Luigi AI tool. Just replaces all.
Well, now you're just demonetized and taken off any kind of platform.
But that's fine.
So good job.
This podcast doesn't make any fucking money.
No, we're rich.
It's a video game podcast. We're talking about Luigi. He's going to be in the next Mario Kart, guys.
Oh, right, yeah. We're an Xbox podcast, though. Nice try.
It's fine. No one listens this far. not even the AI listens to this podcast. What are you talking about? All right, last story that we've got is that apparently there is a new Deus Ex game being pitched. We did know a little while ago that it was Eidos were working on a third game that got cancelled to kind of complete the trilogy of Mankind Divided and Human Revolution. But apparently, Eidos Montreal haven't found anyone to kind of fund it yet, which, given the current economic landscape, does not surprise me.
Yeah. I don't think those games have ever been very financially successful.
No, they've definitely been like critical darlings, and like apparently have sold well, but not like gangbusters, like 100% safe investment. Let's do it. They're obviously quite expensive, quite intensive kind of games to make.
Yeah, and Eidos Montreal was owned was owned by Square Enix, and we have learned that their metrics are unrealistic is a good way to put
especially
it.
for Western
So,
games. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
But yeah, because apparently there was one at work at Embracer, which obviously got cancelled with the whole Saudi fund thing going down, and Artist Montreal have just laid off a bunch of people. But apparently there is still something in the works. What it looks like, who knows? It would be great, but there is a risk that basically this kind of thing is like too niche these days for it to be a safe investment, which unfortunately is probably true. You know, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would 100% play any Deus Ex game that comes out. They really need to
They're
like
really fun.
talking about like a remake, like a proper remake of the first game would be incredible.
Ooh. Hey, Night Dive, get on that. That'd be
Yes,
fun.
fuck yes. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of
About a
see.
game that doesn't hold your hand.
He did, yeah, fucking tell me about it, right? Like that opening level is so good, just the perfect example. But yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye out for it. I mean, they haven't had a new Deus Ex game since 2016. Just weird to think about.
Has it really been 2016 since
Yeah,
that came out?
Mankind Divided was 2016,
Heck.
nearly 10 years. But yeah, I guess. But apparently, Artist Montreal are helping with Fable as well. So again, they're not kind of like this is not their only thing they're looking at. But I'd play this day one. You know, even if it is again a smaller experience. I just love that world. I love the kind of tech stuff. I mean, Cyberpunk obviously had a very kind of Deus Ex style feel to it in terms of like its tone and also like similar to its gameplay in terms of like the emergent stuff. Like very like immersive sim light, where it's like you had some options but not that many. So I mean, I'm definitely keen, but yeah, I guess we'll kind of see what happens because I mean, fucking Mankind Divided left on like basically a cliffhanger anyway. I mean, if you wanted to remake some games, you know, like it's like the Deus Ex series is like prime stuff for people who like niche stuff that people really really enjoy. That again, like Mankind Divided got like an 85 on Metacritic. Like it's not like it did really really well in terms of reviews and people love those games, but it's just they're just not huge sellers.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's never been a mass marketable title at all.
It's funny actually because we were just talking about Night Divers because Night Dive did the System Shock 1 and 2 remasters like, or the remakes that they did.
They did.
And it's like, yeah, so like Deus Ex I think would fit is within that kind of that realm of those kinds of games, so it would fit really well. All right, but that's it for news. Like it's pretty quiet. Like I think like we were talking about, I think most of the companies are keeping their powder dry for announcement stuff and
It's quiet before the storm. Oh yeah.
exactly. And people are kind of just trying to, I'm sure all of next month will just be leaks of all the shit that's going to get announced. Would be nice if they were, a few more. There's a lot of releases, but not so much on the news front. And then on the Game Pass front, we've got a few games that joined this week. We had South of Midnight and Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls get added to Game Pass Ultimate. Commando's Origins came to Game Pass Ultimate on the 9th. Blueprints on the 10th. And then Hunt Showdown on the 15th. Hunt Showdown apparently is very, very good. Blueprints apparently is like Game of the Year material, maybe.
Yeah, I'm seeing everyone ranting about blueprints, and I'm like, well, I'll play that when it's leaving Game Pass, I'm sure, but that'd be great.
Yeah, I might have to install that. I mean, Spice just said he got through the entire game and didn't get a single achievement, so that's an interesting kind of.
I love that kind of stuff. There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, but I'm very very like I don't know much about the game at all, but yeah, I definitely need to look into it.
I know it involves blueprints, which obviously is the joke of the title, and then it's like a mystery title. That's all I know.
Yeah, I get like again there was kind of maybe some Witness vibes to it, some sort of puzzly kind of, but some sort of roguelite stuff as well, like resetting and I don't know. They've been pretty tight-lipped about what the game actually is, which I kind of like. Actually, I think that's kind of a fun thing.
Yes.
And then Leaving, which by the time you hear this will probably be already gone, but we have Botany Manor, Coral Island, Harold Halibut, Homestead Arcana, Kona, Orcs Must Die 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Turbo Golf Racing. I am Turbo Golf Racing to get Orcs Must Die 3 done, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, going to have to buy that one, I think.
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah, well, nearly. I'll talk a bit about it when we get to what we've been playing. But we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/HallOfGamers. If you want to help support the show, have exclusive content. We're going to be recording some Lights, Camera, and Action episodes about... I'm going to finally get around to that last episode of Fallout that I know we missed. I want to talk about Sonic 3. I want to talk about Minecraft. And we're probably going to talk about like the Tomb Raider show and the new Devil May Cry show that everyone hates.
Flint and Steel.
Yeah, oh my fucking god. Just the theater that I saw. That amazing.
Yeah.
I have been again. I've been every time I open up Uber Eats, it's like, hey, do you want the Minecraft toy from McDonald's? I'm like, kind of. But yes, we are looking to talk about some more stuff. I do want to do more Patreon content. It is literally just about kind of finding the time and the people and kind of trying to organize stuff. It's, again, trying to put this podcast together with people is hard enough with all the time zones. So we do struggle a little bit. But I do want to do more in that space. A huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natolinator, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Matt Clown, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. We literally could not afford to do the show without you guys. I reinvest all the money straight back into the podcast. Hell, even some of the Word Challenge winners are like, yeah, just put the money back into the podcast, which we really, really appreciate. I'll talk about the Word Challenge a little bit later. But yes, if you do want to join it, we do all of our exclusive content there. We do have some of the old stuff available for free. So if you just want to join as a free person and kind of have a look through and see what's in there and see if there's stuff there you might want to see more of, let us know. Also, we used to do some sort of behind-the-scenes stuff in terms of like before and after recording. We don't do it so much these days because the recording stuff has changed a little bit in terms of like our process. But if there's stuff you want to see, you want to hear more about, you want us to talk more about outside of just the podcast, again, we're happy to do deep dives on games. We sometimes do spoiler casts. There's all kinds of stuff that we do.
Yeah, we love talking. So
yes, we fucking love talking, especially about video games. People, cannot get me to shut the fuck up. Which is why sometimes when Shane and Jake and myself are on, we talk for like 3 hours, even though nothing happened that week.
Yep, those always run late.
Yeah. All right, and then we've also got our monthly theme, which is every 2 months, the Bimestral Burden month. The theme for the March and April has been Bring Out Your Dead, which is completing games that feature the undead, zombies, ghosts, vampires, and other spookies. Not demons. Demons do not count. Basically, if I have to break out the 5e rule book to basically show that like turn undead is the thing that works on these, if it doesn't work on them, it doesn't count. But we've seen some good entries into this, especially this week. And I think that brings us quite nicely into what we've been playing. But if you are playing any of those games, jump on our Discord and let us know how you're feeling about the theme. We're also throwing around some ideas for next month or the next 2 months because we are halfway through April already. So maybe not next week, but maybe the week after we might have something to show. We'll see. I'm really thinking about like what we could tie in maybe with the Game Awards or with that kind of announcement season. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, let's get into what we're playing. Let's go with you, Shane, because it's been a couple of weeks since you've been on. I mean, I imagine you play fucking everything, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list like, I should probably cut it off like here, maybe. We'll talk it all night.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't too interesting beforehand. But we'll start with Blade Runner. Speaking of...
Oh, yes. I was looking at this. I saw you posted it as a completion, yeah.
Yeah, so I was expecting like a I don't know, John Wick Hex or some kind of game like that. I did not realize this is a game from the 90s. And it's like FMV, point and click adventure game. Did not expect that. Did not know that was what I was getting into. So, you play as a character during the events of Blade Runner, the original movie, which I also have never seen. So, I was lost.
Got to fix that.
Yeah, that's what people keep saying. I think I just watched like the first 5 minutes and got bored.
It's a slow movie. It is 100%.
It's a slow movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just play as a runner and a Blade Runner, and you are talking to people. I don't think directly related to the movie.
Probably not.
I believe. Okay, so I'll cut to the chase. The main thing about this completion is that you have to... There's a lot of parts of it, but the main achievement I would say that you have to work toward is you have to make sure all replicants survive your playthrough.
Right.
This is very RNG based because not only... I assume you're aware of... It sounds like you've seen the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So... You don't know who you're talking to.
Who's a replicant?
The game randomizes who's a replicant or not.
Right.
And then even worse, it decides that when you start the game. You can find hints on who the replicants are as you go, but if you get into certain ways, those guys are going to die. Based on your choices you made, who you talked. It's very annoying. So you need a guide. You're going to need a guide for it.
Right.
It's a point and click adventure from the 90s, so can be a little obtuse when it comes to what the solutions are. The order you talk to people in matters. If you say something wrong, someone's going to die, and then there's your whole playthrough ruined. Very annoying. But I got through it pretty quick. I don't think it took it. It suggested around 12 to 15 hours. I think I finished it in like I want to say 6 hours.
Right.
So
Maybe you got
the guide
lucky.
makes it pretty. No, I had to replay a couple times.
Ah, okay.
So pretty much what I did was there are 3 people at the end that are randomly replicants, and I was told, well, the guides told me that if one person was a replicant, a certain character, you're boned. You cannot save them.
Right.
I found out a third of the way through my second playthrough that first off that guy was a replicant again. God dang it. But there was also a way to save him.
Ah, okay.
So
right.
I quickly reloaded my save near the end of my first playthrough. Played through again, was indeed able to save him, and then finishing out that final achievement.
Nice.
So there is a way to finish the game regardless of the choices you. Well, don't get anyone killed, obviously, but
Sure.
regardless of the choices you make, should be able to save those last 3 people and get it. So I could probably write a guide for it, but I'm not going to because that's a lot when it comes to games like that.
Yeah.
I also, like many people in the Discord, got a code for Please Fix the Road
Oh yeah,
from
yeah. The one
developer.
that giving away free codes on their Discord.
Yeah. Someone, I forget who posted it in the Discord, but they're like, "Hey, if you join this developer's Discord, they'll give you a free game." So I went and did that because let me look at the developer. It's Celestia. Oh, publisher. Sorry, Celestia Games. Celestia.
Celestia.
Anyway, I got it right away. I figured I'd do it. It's a very cozy little puzzler. You're given you're given a little square of a road or landscape, and you have to get the car or a boat or a deer following a path to the end, and you're given a set sequence of pieces you have to put down to get them there, and it's a puzzle game.
Sure.
Not bad, pretty short. As with most puzzle games, you follow a guide. It's no thing. I decided to play through it because I was playing on stream, so I did try to play it through as much as I could without a guide.
Okay. Right.
In fact, I got to the last set of levels. It's groups of 10, 16 groups of 10. So I got to the 16th group because there are no more hints. So I did have to use a guide for those. So I was like, I'm done. I want to finish it up. I'm good. Nothing really grind or anything. As you mentioned, Botany Manor's leaving. I'm sure many people have played that because it's very easy. So I did that one. That was super cute.
I like the
Very
game a lot.
escape roomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's if you've done escape room, you can do Botany Manor. It's a similar idea. I worked on Minecraft for Nintendo Switch a little bit. I use that mostly just to extend my streak. Slowly but surely getting through that sucker. I think, was that for the Minecraft movie actually? Might have been, because I had all night, so I went and saw that movie. It's not good.
No, it is not. It is. We will talk about it. I'm sure we'll do lights camera action on that.
It's
sure.
fun, but it's not good.
It's not good.
And we absolutely had a theater full of teenagers
Yep.
losing their goddamn
Same
minds.
thing.
So
Same
that added
thing.
to it.
100%.
Yeah.
So two out of 10
F in
movie,
the
10 out of 10 experience.
Yes, F in the chat for theater workers right now.
Yes.
Sorry. I decided to do The Last Worker, which is, I forget. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I will constantly put games on my TA price list that are mentioned or talked about. I don't remember where I heard this one.
I know Cameron talked
it's
about
essentially,
it a while ago.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, a long time ago. Cameron played it ages ago.
Oh, see, I knew of it, and I kept seeing it on my price watch come up, and I never grabbed it, and then I finally did, and I just can't remember where I heard it from. But if you're not aware, you play as essentially an Amazon fulfillment center worker in the future, like a dystopian future, and
So next week.
things happen, and yeah, I liked it a lot. It's very funny. The voice cast is amazing. Your robotic sidekick is Lucius Malfoy from the Harry Potter movies.
It's Jason. Oh wait, really? Jason Isaacs?
Yes.
That's great.
Your the leader of the rebellion. She's Zelda Williams.
Oh, okay.
So Robin
Damn,
Williams'
this is a
daughter.
Stacked cast. All right.
Yeah, so it's pretty good, and I laughed a lot. It's not hard. I kind of wish the Amazon fulfillment part of it was like more of the game, because that was very dad game simulator vibes.
Sure.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
Fork Truck Simulator.
So, but it was very cool. Yeah, it's pretty short. You can save scum to get the last all 3 completions, endings, and then you just gotta replay some levels to get. It tracks all the packages you're sending out, so you need to get like every package sent out once. So, like every item or whatever you're selling. So, very cool. And then I moved to Little Misfortune. I don't know if anyone's played that mess of a game, but that's. Oh boy, that was a story. That was, yep. I hate that little girl's voice. I know it's a husband and wife that did a lot of the writing and development of it,
right.
and she voices Little Misfortune. I hate her voice that she does for that character so much. Me and my daughter constantly mock it and have referenced it since. Yuck! What was it, Melanie? What was it? Yikes forever. Yeah. So, just her cadence, it's annoying. But it's very funny, it's very dark, and it's very easy. So
great.
You can't get wrong there.
I'll play that. I'll play that this week.
2 games got updates. Both Palworld and Vampire Survivors got new achievements. So I worked a little on Palworld, but mostly at work. I was just idling what I could because while cloud gaming works great, guys. I've used it many times. It works fantastic, and even in Podunk, Iowa, with a 2-bar 5G, I was streaming Palworld, no problem at work. So yeah, I was just there's some achievements for doing X many times. So I would just sit in front of the what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The equipment to do it, and just refresh it every time it ran out. And yeah, so I got a couple achievements in that. But me and my daughter will probably play it for real, either right after this podcast or tomorrow for sure. But I'll pop out the rest of those. They don't look that hard. Nothing super complicated. I think the big content update's coming. I think they said this summer, maybe. But
yeah, they're big.
That'll be a little
new thing that they're doing.
Yeah, this is just their cross-play update. Just added a few achievements to already existing things, so no big deal. And then Vampire Survivors is exactly what you expect. It's another group of levels. It's another character. It's find a new item and level. Evolve it. There's a new adventure to do, which can always be a little rough at first.
Yeah.
This update involves a lot of. It's called the Coop, so it's a lot of chickens. So anyone who starts it, use the Darkana that gives you increased stats when you pick up food. Because oh boy, will you be overpowered real fast. Yeah. I blew up my bitrate earlier trying to stream that sucker. Jesus Christ.
Moon's on the chat.
Enough where I
oh, sorry. Yeah.
Someone was watching it and they're like, "Hey, run to the right," and I did. I just zoomed across all the way to the level. Like I was leveling up so fast. So yeah.
The Moonzom points out in the chat. It's like, really enjoyed the fast forward button they added there. You can kind of control the speed of the game now.
Oh yes, that helps a lot.
So helpful. Like, because I literally just finished it before we started recording, and so I was running through doing my 30 minutes surviving with one of the characters. And I just was like, all right, put it up to max speed, get it done in 10 minutes, be done.
And it helps too because if you're playing that right, usually by the end, you're so powerful. You're just standing there, just absorbing experience and kills.
Yeah.
So being able to fast forward, fantastic. Great job. And then the big one I played this week was South of Midnight.
Yes, I also
game was great.
Played this. That is absolutely. I'll talk a little bit about it as well, but I'll go into it. We can chat about it. At the same time,
anyone who isn't aware of this one, this is kind of Xbox's current big game. Like this was the one they were building up to for now. You play as a girl looking for her mother while kind of facing the American South mythology.
Yeah, folktale and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very linear. This is a game that like old style, like a PlayStation game. You're going level to level. You're just walking through it, fighting enemies and bosses. It's very simple, but it's really well done.
It's the kind of game that just, I feel like, I was talking with Allison and a few others about this, like, it feels like the kind of game that just doesn't get made anymore in terms of like...
The old AA.
Exactly, right? But it's that thing where it's like, it reminded me so much of Psychonauts, like we kind of talked about earlier, in terms of like...
Yep.
Relatively linear game, a lot of collectibles, fun kind of psychic powers, can't touch water. Like I was like, there's a fun and shit. Like there was so many things that I was like, this is literally just a Psychonauts game. Like it's great. Has like a really...
sometimes you need that. You know what I mean?
100%. Has too many collectibles. That is my biggest problem with the game. But
Yeah, yeah.
but it's a like really good platformer. The combat is fine. Like I think that's maybe its weakest point. I think it's relatively like
I think everyone kind of agrees there
yeah,
because it's very basic.
it's very
It
yeah,
is. You beep,
surprisingly
boop, boop,
basic.
head X a bunch.
Yeah, it really feels like something that harkens back to that like Sly Cooper era of kind of
Hmm.
those kinds of platformers. Again, something that's maybe like a little bit more technical and a bit more acrobatic than something like a Jack and Daxter or a Ratchet and Clank, but has that kind of a bit more of a combat slant to it as well. It's got like wall running and all that kind of stuff. I just finished it last night and I could not put it down.
Yep, I was very engaged. The story is really good, and it's linear, but everything's so pretty. Like so many times, I just stopped and looked like, man. Oh, I also am usually playing older games,
Sure.
but or smaller indies. So it was very cool to see all the water reflections. I thought the animations were really well done. I got so many good screenshots. It's a
Yes, some
very pretty
great
game.
screenshots.
Yes, it's so pretty. Completion wise, but it's very easy, except for three achievements,
Yeah.
which are you have to not get hit by the first three bosses. There are what, five? No, four bosses total. But the end boss, okay, another disappointment. The end boss compared to the other three, not great.
No, yeah, it was kind of
But
like yeah, it was. I mean, I'm glad there
it's literally
wasn't
just
an
an arena
achievement
fight.
for not doing it like getting hit because that would
Oh
have been
my god.
ridiculous. But
Whew. Can you imagine? I don't think I finished a single fight not getting hit. Because
yeah,
it was always like I get close and then someone would snipe me across the map, like at the end while I was fighting some one of the slugs or something.
yeah,
So that would have been a nightmare. But it's kind of disappointment. It's just an arena fight. You don't really fight a boss. You're fighting just the normal enemies that he's throwing at you.
and then a
So
bit of platforming. It's kind of yeah, it's definitely
a
different.
little, yeah. Hug and Molly had more of that, where it was far more you're fighting the
Also that
boss
too,
while
yeah.
also doing some platforming and. But that is going to be a huge barrier to completion for a lot of people. I always like to joke that achievement hunters aren't super great at video games sometimes, and this is an easy completion up to that point where you are going to there's no trick.
That first boss took me
There's
like a
even
couple hours of just kind of working at it. Like I
yeah, that was a
really
pain.
really struggled with it. Like, and like I can like again I can see the strings, right? Like I can understand everything about it, but it's like sometimes you just like the sort of RNG of like some of his rock throws. You just like sometimes you just no time. You just get hit.
Oh, here's a trick for the rock throws. Don't move.
Yeah, yeah,
Standing still makes it a lot easier to locate where they're going to land, at least for the first two phases. For the third phase, it's actually easier if you stand kind of in the middle level because they don't tend to spawn behind you.
yeah.
So you can usually dash
Move
backwards, and that's a
yeah.
good way to dodge.
But
Yes. And then I like the Rougarou a lot.
Yeah.
That was that kind of where it clicked.
yeah,
Where I'm like, okay, I got this.
That was
I got
that was
this.
like actually the only real combat boss in that game, actually, in terms of like
Yeah, because Hug and Molly, you throw things at it,
Yeah.
and then you get knocked down through platforming. The Gator, yeah, it's mostly just dodging its attacks. Rougarou is the only one where you have to actually fight him.
use combos
So.
and actually has a little bit of challenge
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, which was the one I got
Here's
through
a trick for
quickest.
that one. Yeah, a trick for that one: stay on him.
Yes.
By the second phase, he starts doing the beam.
Yeah.
If that beam happens,
You're
you're
done.
You're boned.
You're done.
So
There's no room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you stay on him, he will only do his slam and block and his usual attacks. So.
Moonzom asks,
But yeah, that's gonna be
I was going to say, is there any bottle
ahead.
trees in the game? Yes, there are many bottle trees.
Many bottle trees. Yes.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have said, like, this is very much like a love letter to Southern folklore in a way that kind of no other game has done in the past. As
And I like that kind of stuff.
Me too. Yeah.
Like Tales of Kanzera Zhao did that.
Yeah.
I did that. There's that Wind Waker-ish Pacific Islander game on Game Pass that also does similar things. Like I love when they bring Never Alone. I also did that one. Like all those other culture mythologies. It's always very cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, that kind of leads nicely into one thing I've been playing, which is Tachia, which is, I think, the game you were thinking of.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it was just set in sort of like a fictional version of New Caledonia. Has a lot of that kind of interesting mythos there. It is a huge collectathon, that game. It is very, like, it's very much
Yes,
like
it
a
is.
huge open world, go and collect all this stuff, but possess things. It's fun. I've been playing a little bit. Like, it's been my, when the TV gets stolen away from me, I play it on my laptop kind of game, so I'm just kind of chipping away at it. I don't have much to say about it yet because I've only put like maybe an hour or two into it, but it's nice. I really like the art style. I like that it's like the game is not in English in terms of like the spoken dialogue. So like it's just all subtitled, and I'm like, that's great. I don't necessarily need the game to be like voiced in English. Yeah, it's been really really good. But yeah, is there anything about Southern Midnight you don't like? Outside, I mean, the combat obviously is not amazing, but it works.
They definitely needed some kind of way to track the floofs better.
Yes,
Which
definitely.
is, someone asked me, like, I heard there's a couple thousand completions. There's more than that, or collectibles. There's more than that. There could be 2,000 in a level.
You're
Like,
200 in
it's
level, yeah.
a lot.
It's
No, it's 2,000 sometimes. Like,
yeah,
they come in bundles of 5, granted.
yes,
But
they do.
it's like 2,100 in a level here, 21. Like, it's a lot, and there should have been some way to track that better.
Yeah,
Other
I
than
mean,
that,
yeah, I agree. I think the story has some slight pacing issues.
it kind of barrels toward the end at the end.
Yeah, it
I
really
kind of liked
feels
it a
like,
lot
and we're wrapping
until
things up. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like I was like
yes.
that last couple of levels. I was like, this is amazing. I love this whole thing that's going on here.
I love. Oh man, when you meet Rue and
Yeah,
go to
Rue
his
is-
world. Oh, that was.
I was like, great. I want to see more of this. Like this feels like
Oh,
again, yeah,
soundtrack's fire.
yeah, soundtrack
across
is
the board.
excellent. Yeah, this
Yep.
is a fantastic game. Like I don't know if it's like game of the year
Yeah.
contender material, but I think it's a
No,
must
it's
play.
good. It's just fun. Like it's a good time. Completion wise, if you are just going for maybe not full completion, like you just one of those people that just want achievements, you can turn on invincibility. You can skip boss fights. You can skip fights. You can skip chase scenes.
Yeah.
It's
Very
it
accessible.
wants you to experience the story as much as you possibly can. So
It just kind of feels like maybe it runs out of steam a little bit at the end, and they just kind of had to wrap it up. It feels like it could have done with another
Very much
couple,
so.
a couple of more chapters, maybe a little bit of smoothing. Again, the way that the kind of game progresses between the zones is maybe a little bit weird because they do kind of like cuts, where like cut to the storybook, and then you're in a new area in a way that's maybe a little bit. It's a little bit jarring sometimes, but I think overall, like I really, really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it, and it's only like you get it done in maybe like 10, 12 hours, depending on how much trouble you have with the boss fights.
yeah, I watched all the cutscenes. I didn't use a guide except for the readables, which
Yeah.
is negligible. The floofs are far more time consuming.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think my total stream came in around 15 hours.
Yeah,
So
sounds about right.
it's very manageable. If you are going, I don't recommend it, but if you're going straight for completion, you could definitely cut down that quite a bit. So
Oh yeah, you could skip. I mean, outside of getting the achievements in the fights, you could skip every fight and every chase. And but some of those, like some of the chase in particular, are really really good parts. I think that was my one other thing.
Yep.
I was the reason why I was also like, oh, we're just wrapping up here with this kind of weird end boss fight. Was I was like, I really thought we were going to get to like, and here's the tough, challenging platforming stuff at the end of the game. Like here's where it actually you got to string together a bunch of abilities. Timing's really important, but I guess that's just not the kind of game it was. But I'm just kind of conditioned to expect that.
yeah, this game is not sweaty. I kept waiting
Yeah.
for it to ramp up really
Yeah.
hard, and it just doesn't.
Yeah,
It didn't get hard until I had to get those don't get hit
yeah,
achievements.
exactly.
Otherwise, it's very much the story. It's very focused on the story more. So, but what did you do other than Wind Waker?
Yeah, so I did Tachia, and I did South of Midnight, which I finished last night. I finished up Doom Eternal, so I did the DLCs. Finished up DLC pack 1 and 2 for that. It's been like 2 years since I did the original game, like the base game, and so like again, I just kind of had to drag myself through the base game again to get that extra life mode and then the DLCs. When I talk about Doom Eternal, I'm like, I don't like this game very much. I think it's a good game, but it just does not. The way the game works does not appeal to me. Like that sort of twitch shooting, very like fast paced kind of FPS is kind of just not that appealing.
Did you do
to
the
me.
first one?
I did. Yeah, I love 2016, and that's the thing is like
That's
2016.
kind of what I hear a lot is where people really love that first one, and the second one they say is good,
It is good,
but they don't seem to like it as much.
yeah, I guess it depends on like 2016 was a more kind of grounded game. Like you didn't have an air dash. Like you didn't have to. You had a lot more ammo for your weapons.
Platforming, right?
Yeah, no
I heard that a lot.
platforming.
Was the platforming was the problem?
And the thing is, like, again, I'm retreading ground from several years ago here, but like the thing
Yeah.
with Doom Eternal is that obviously like there's that sort of loop of like hit weak points with certain weapons, use your flamethrower to get more armor, use your chainsaw to get more ammo, use glory kills to get more health, and just kind of cycle through those things as you run low on materials. And so you're constantly swapping weapons, using different tactics for different enemies, and the DLC just ramps it up again, where they're like, okay, here's like by the end of it, it's like 10 new different types of enemies that all need new different ways. Like you have like a shield guy who can't take damage from the front, so you have to use the grenades to get behind him for the most part. You've got a imp that can only be killed by either the hammer ability that you get or the auto fire on your shotgun mod. That you like. Again, every weapon has a different mod, and most of the mods have like a version that you would usually use. So like the rocket launcher has a lock-on one or a ability to detonate halfway through in a shot. And so like that, the lock-on one is clearly the better one because you just like lock on, fire 3 missiles at a guy, and then go and do something else. Whereas like the shield guys, now you actually have that, there's a reason to use the other mod. So they kind of, again, they're trying to increase the flexibility of like, okay, here's new enemy types that will counter the kind of like standard go-tos that even the original game had. But it's a lot. And like even on easy, like the game's not overly difficult on easy. Like I think I died like once maybe during the entire game. But you constantly like have to be like, it's not a like lean back and play and just kind of shoot things. It is a
Yeah.
You need to be onto it. You need to be like, okay, I need to make sure I hit this, use this ability, use these grenades. Like you have so many different tools, and they all require to be used. They're on different cooldowns. It's a lot, and it just did not appeal to me in the same way that like 2016 did, where it's like you did have a lot of weapons, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to use the super shotgun most of the time because it's fucking awesome. And it's like, yeah, I'll switch to the rocket launcher and maybe to the plasma gun sometimes, but that's probably about it. But I'm done with it just in time for the new one, which apparently is taking it in a completely different direction based on the previews I've seen. It looks really, really interesting. I don't know.
I'm pretty excited about it.
It looks really good. I don't know if I'm going to like it in terms of how it plays. It's got like a lot of sort of schmuppy kind of elements to it, but it looks interesting, and a lot more emphasis on melee, which is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, they're going Dark Ages. Gotta
get your flail out and shit. Yeah, exactly. You got a Captain America shield. Outside of that, I guess the big one that I did was Split Fiction. So I played through this with Cameron. This is probably my game of the year so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be that way.
I mean, to be fair, Southern Midnight is really good as well, but it's been a great week for puzzle platformers with combat. Split Fiction's fantastic. Again, I want to talk about it, but obviously the more you talk about it, the more you spoil about it. But it's a fantastic experience of, if you don't know, it's the latest game from Haze Light, the people who made It Takes Two and brothers, technically, sort of, Joseph Fares. And
A Way Out.
And A Way Out. Yeah, exactly. So a game that requires co-op, but blends different genres together in a way that is really, really interesting and fun. And yeah, just like constant surprises, constant switch ups, lots of references to other games. Like, it is a love letter to people who enjoy video games, because clearly people who made it are just so engrossed in this genre, understand the tropes, understand what works, understand what you want to see, understand where to subvert those expectations, understand where to put Easter eggs. Like, they just have a real understanding of like people who love both. Again, the idea is that you're two different authors who get stuck in this like basically VR machine bubble, and you jump between a like sci-fi genre and fantasy genre, because they both write different genres. And so it's very much like leaning on those kind of like sci-fi tropes of like cyberpunk, Blade Runner, space stuff, like Halo stuff, like space marine stuff, and then also like the fantasy stuff, like, fucking dragons and woodland elves and like ice kings and all, forests and magical stuff. Again, the more, I don't want to talk any more about it in terms of like what's actually in it, because the discovery of the mechanics and the stuff that they've pulled in and kind of how they've weaved all the stuff together is just absolutely fantastic. I think my biggest issues are with the kind of like the characters themselves aren't that interesting. I think they're kind of a little bit like one note, and the story is, there's a generic billionaire who has a thing called the machine that steals everyone's ideas who go into it, and they lure people in through a publishing deal. And it's very on the nose. And
sounds about right.
Yeah, and it's very much like an allegory for AI, but the like CEO dude is like mustache twirling levels of evil, ridiculous, like over the top crazy. Like, in terms of like, I've been working this for 20 years. You're not taking this from me. Like, I'm like, bro, like, okay, I get it. You're making a statement, but like, it just doesn't quite hit the same way that you're like, man, this gameplay stuff is like really cool and interesting. And it's also not like overly difficult. Again, like in the same way that like South of Midnight is very accessible. This is like, it's like Cameron and I weren't really challenged a lot of the time going through it. But we had a fantastic time. Just like I was jumping in and out and playing like bits and pieces, just kind of around like life stuff. And it was really cool. I was like, I want to get back on this. I want to finish this. And just like, I'm just sitting there and just being like, okay. I had the thing where I was like, I got to the finale and then I had to finish for the night. And I was like, it was bothering me all fucking day. I was like, I have to get back and finish this game. And again, it's a
good
great
sign of writing.
Yeah, it's a great co-op experience. I think everyone should play this game. In the same way, like if you like It Takes Two, it is more of that, but in a way that it's like understanding genres and kind of, whereas that game was very much about like kind of blending genres and doing interesting things and surprising stuff. This is very much like, this feels much more familiar, but also like big homages. It's maybe not as original as as It Takes Two is in terms of like its concepts, but I still really enjoyed it.
Well, let's give it up for Joseph Ferris too. The dude's hilarious. Every time you see him on interviews and everything, does not hold back about how just thrilled he is to be doing what he's doing.
The man fucking loves video games, and it's so clear that whole team is just so passionate about games in general, which is just amazing to see. And also his like "fuck the Oscars" speech thing is also in the game. You can find, of course, because they did that as well. You can find it on if you're looking for if you find a boombox, make sure you turn it on, because that's
the man's a meme now. I
mean,
he
is very much is.
Yeah, they're not very subtle about that whole big CEO hate thing, are they?
No, they're super like it's very on the nose in a way that I'm like I kind of understand.
The Last Worker did the same thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. And like part of me is like that's kind of not great writing, but part of me is like whatever, it doesn't actually matter. And that's pretty much it in terms of like big things I've been playing. I did start Assassin's Creed Odyssey as my like next project game, just something that I chip away at. Ooh, I know it's going to be like 100 hours, but I have all the DLC. It's been staring at me on my has not started list, and I was like, fuck it, today's the day. I finished up Purple Chicken Spaceman and a few other games, and I was like, okay, I need something big to work on just to kind of chip away at when I don't have things to do for co-op or Game Pass levers and that kind of stuff. And then Orcs Must Die, again, like I'm only like 3 hours into Odyssey, so like nothing to say yet. But and then I'm nearly done with Orcs Must Die 3 that's leaving Game Pass. Stubby and I have been playing through that together, having a really good time. We're getting really good at it. We kind of like we finally got it down. We're like, okay, we have a plan. And the plan works 80% of the time. That other 20% though is really fucking frustrating. Because in order to get 5 stars in all the levels, you basically have to make sure no one gets past you, but you also have to do it within a par time. So we build this elaborate fucking labyrinths to feed them all through and destroy them. They don't even get close. And then we're like, yeah, but we took a minute too long, so we need to obviously rework the entire structure. And it's very frustrating. So we've got about 2/3 of the levels done. We've got another third to do. I don't think we're going to get it done before it leaves Game Pass. Plus there's DLC, plus there's extra shit to do. So I think we're just going to have to pick it up when it's on sale. But I have been having a really good time with it.
I'm surprised there aren't really in-depth guides on how to get those par times.
There are a few of them, but I think this game released on like Stadia or something first. I think it didn't have a big...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think... Because like the second game isn't on Xbox at all. The first one is on the 360. But the third game, I don't think it...
Which I did.
Yeah. The third game I don't think was like... Again, there are some guides. There's like a level guide that's quite good. But, you know, they've patched it. They've changed stuff. The DLC has like rebalanced some things. It's not quite... Like, it's been a good like starting point. But we've had to like kind of improvise a lot. But that's kind of fun. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I played the first one. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've got the first one installed actually. Because I'm like, actually, I should go and do that one. I might pick your brain on that.
It's easy.
Yeah, and then just like today I started Adamfall as kind of another, like now that I finished South of Midnight, as my next sort of Game Pass game to work on. I'm only like 20 minutes in, so I'll report back next week.
Are you liking it so far?
Yeah, it's so good so far. I don't know. I mean, I like the tone. I like the kind of the Britishness.
Yes,
it's very British. In a way that
very British,
which I like a lot. Actually, it's kind of an interesting kind of that take. I know they were kind of like seems kind of reductive to say Fallout England, but it's like kind
not
of,
wrong though.
It's not. Yeah, it is kind of that. That's kind of the time. But I'm still very early on, like just kind of like wandering around and talking to people and shit. So
so I do my Game Pass preview thing on my channel And so I did Adamfall. One of the very few games where I was waiting for that hour to finish, and I did not like it.
Really?
Did not like it. Yeah,
Interesting.
I was shocked. I remember that hour was getting up like, okay, well, hour's hit, I'm done. I did not like
Wow.
this. Not a little
Interesting.
bit. And everybody really likes it. So I'm almost like, maybe I should just jump in and just get the completion and see how I feel at the end of it.
I'll give you a full review when I'm done with it because it doesn't like again. There's a few people in our
Yeah.
Discord have also finished it, and people are saying they enjoyed it. So I'm gonna probably give it like a proper smash because again, I've unlocked a few achievements. I have to do it now. And
Yeah,
like
well.
it was looking like the thing where it's like I needed a kind of a in between game to play right now because I don't this. It's like that and a vow to kind of I'm trying to do like more Game Pass games and like have Game of the Year material to talk about and that kind of stuff. So I do want to kind of I do want to put more time into it, but I'm gonna we'll see. Again, it hasn't like grabbed me. I'm not itching to play it right this second, but I'm enjoying it so far. But again, literally like 20 minutes in, so I just like started. I got like 2 achievements and that's it.
Oh, if statistically you're gonna like it because everyone else seems to.
Yeah,
I
mean,
just don't. I don't know what happened. I was just an hour in. I'm like, yeah, I'm not having fun. I hate this. This is not fun.
I mean, sometimes I can be a cruncharian too. You know, you never know, right? It's you never know what you're gonna get.
Well, I'm the trolliest troll that's ever trolled, but I still didn't like it.
Yeah, fair. There was another game I need to pick your brain about that I was looking at as well. Actually, I'll ask you later. But yeah, anything else we've been playing, or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it. I'm gonna probably do my ongoing do a game everyone hated last year series and do Alone in the Dark. I think's next, which I'm pretty sure
Right.
you've played.
Yes, love that
So
game.
I might speaking of picking your brain, I might do that. But I've heard it's not terrible or
No, it's pretty
hard
good
or very
actually. I think it's
complicated.
pretty. I think it's solid. I think it's a solid game. It's got some.
Yeah.
The combat is like not great, but I think the rest of it's pretty good.
And I've got Snow Days, South Park Snow Days lined up, Slitterhead, probably do Slitterhead in maybe October. But yeah, fun stuff. Slitterhead sounds like a slur. I don't like saying that. Makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. All right. Well, that kind of brings us to our word challenge, everyone's favorite competition where I pick a game and you go and try and figure out what the fuck it is. So you go on the Discord, go into our word challenge channel, and you get 1 guess per hour. Make sure to spell the game exactly as it is on the box art or Wikipedia or TA or whatever. And a GIF pops up. Sometimes if it works properly, it didn't work last time, but that's technical stuff. And you win. You win $20 New Zealand. Although most people don't even take the money because it's like the PayPal fees make it barely worth it. But you get to win, which is the important thing. And so Legacy won it last time with Sid Meier's Pirates, which I used a great gif of Tim Curry in Treasure Island. Love Tim Curry. And so I've come up with a new game. And I was umming and ahhing about clues. I'm going to give you guys a pretty big clue for this one. Because I'd be interested to see what people guess. Because we're already halfway through April. This game has its own language in it. Now what that means, maybe we can unpick a little bit later. But this game has its own language in it. I'm not going to say whether it's written or spoken, but it has another language in it. So get your guesses in. I'm very curious to see where people's mind goes when I say that. This is always the most fun.
So it's not American because other languages are made up.
That's
So
true.
that's a pretty big field though.
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
true.
not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no y'alls.
I'll figure it out. Y'all.
And then we also have our leaderboard, which if you are on TA, you can jump on our leaderboard and we read out the top 3 for each week for how much gamer score they've gotten. We've had some big hitters for the last few weeks, and the trend continues. With Mephisto for the win with 13,980, a Grey Shark with 20,290, and Thrash Forever with 24,925. Great work, everyone. Jesus, yeah, I'm like 7th, I think. Yeah, 7th this week. And you're 8th. So it's Cameron.
Well, look at that.
It's Cameron, me, and then you. So we're doing all right.
All right.
All right.
Acceptable.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. All right, and then we have our completions. Shane, you want to go through those?
Yeah, we got Stooby Doo doing Shenmue 2. Great game. Shadowed Slide doing Phasmophobia. Also a great game. Cameron got around to Split Fiction and South of Midnight. I can't imagine who his partner was for Split Fiction.
I finished it before he did, so
Ronikins?
just,
Oh, that's like coming out 3 minutes before your twin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're the better. Ickle Ronikins did Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Great game. Wow, a lot of good ones this week.
Took him like 10 years to get back to that,
Chindaka
apparently.
Yeah, it's pretty overlooked. Chindaka did Yakuza 3 Remastered. Oh, that's in a streak of good games. And then Cavaliers '07 did Atomfall.
Yeah, so Cavaliers who inspired me to kind of jump on it because apparently it's not. No, it doesn't look too difficult. It's like 20-hour game, but yeah, some really good completions this week. And yeah, Chin Doctor Kirby is continuing his trend of working through the Yakuza games. Yeah, I'm impressed. He's already got through 4 of them. So
More power to him, man.
yeah, that's. I think he's kind of crazy, but he's got what 4, 5, 6 like a dragon guy, and then Infinite Wealth, I guess. So
Is he doing only the mainline ones? Because he's also got like a Dragon Ishin. He's got Man with No Name.
Man with No Name. Hawaii. Yep. Fuck. He's gonna have a big year.
Yeah.
Oof.
See, I did Kiwami 1. My friend bought me 0 and Kiwami 2, and I just have not been able to bring myself to go back to him.
0 is the only one
such
that
a commitment.
But I'm like, I don't know if I can. Maybe one day we'll see. I mean,
There's such a commitment.
yeah, and it's like I have so many other games that I could play in that time. Having said that, I did just start Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, you did. No mahjong though.
No mahjong. There's no mahjong. Yeah. That is a big fucking
mahjong. No
benefit.
karaoke.
Yeah.
No slot car racing.
No golf. No fucking pool.
I think.
Yeah. Fucking. Well, I mean, we could see. Again, I'm only like a couple hours in, so we'll see. I haven't even left the main island yet.
Report back.
But I think that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. Like I said, it's a relatively light show this week. As always, you can watch us on Twitch, Xbox Hall of Gamers. We had a few people in the chat this week, which is nice. Good to see Stubby and the Moon's on. And Firehawk, you're here, which is great. And thank you for chipping in.
I try to.
Yeah, I guess that's going to bring us to the end of episode 164. Shane, do you have anything you'd like to shill?
No, not really. You can find all my content on firehawkd.com. Otherwise, I'm buzzing around the Discord and streaming and all that stuff, and all those links are there. So.
Yeah, sorry. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my wife, who was sitting in the background, who is also in the Twitch chat, who has gotten very upset that I have not mentioned her. So yes, thank you, Allison. But that's going to bring us. Yeah, you've been here the whole time. Exactly. Yeah. But that's going to bring us to the end of episode 164. Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Peace out, peeps.